Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated, and you can hear a cacophony in the court. People are talking about nothing other than the threatened rebellion against the kingdom. They are watching with interest the activities in Munster. One of the conspirators, the Duke of Munster, is under attack. And Uí Néill, who seems to be leading this independence faction, he's actually losing a war. Some of his vassals are trying to end his tyranny, so he's in a bit of trouble. We know that there is a big sum of money coming in, and we are going to use that money to forge a new weapon for the High King, who currently stands with 4,500 troops in the middle of the country in Leinster, watching the borders of Munster, waiting for that rebellion to fire. And I think it is only fitting that the High King would look to slash at his enemies. I'd like a sword. Something to replace killing a sword. Or we could go for, is he a slashing type of a person or a baiting type of a person? I don't think he'd go for keep my enemies at a distance. Do you know what? He is paranoid. Our spies have been searching high and low. We're still suspicious from the last episode about our daughter, Dúnseach. But it does indeed look as though Dúnseach is our child. The wife isn't happy. And there we go. A big heap of money from the Pope. Thank you very much. You got to see my rather confused decision-making process there a couple of seconds ago where I said, we'll go for a sword. Oh wait, no, maybe something else. Definitely not a spear. So that's the kind of confused decision-making we've had in the kingdom of late. We're not getting on very well with our new wife at the moment. We're devastated at the loss of our son, Uí Néill, killed in the Crusades on the last episode. And I think Crusader would take this opportunity in his life to invite knights to court and embrace celibacy. So this will give us clergy opinion, +1 piety per month. Opinion of revelers will decrease, and seducer characters. He's probably also feeling maybe a bit, not guilty, but he does understand that he killed a member of his family in executing Bridget, and his attempts to put Serla, which was maybe a kind of a penance. His attempts to put her on the throne of Syria failed utterly, and resulted in the death of his son. A new life begins today. Now, while we are in Ireland waiting for a potential rebellion, we're seeing here an attempt, hopefully, to bring this war to an end. It's highly likely this is going to drop below the point where it can activate soon enough. So we're going to be keeping a watch on everything. And is this the Duke of Burgundy? It is indeed, and he's calling us into a war against Lombardy. We're here in this part of the world. It's a defensive war. We'll accept. Of course we'll accept. We always accept these wars. So we now have 4,500 troops in Ireland doing nothing in the midst of 2 major wars in Europe. And we are fighting under the command of the King of Burgundy's wife, the Queen of Aragon. I was hoping that this would have brought that war to an end, but it hasn't done so. The Queen of Aragon has entered that Liberty War, which is handy. It means we'll have some support down in this direction. Our daughter, Muirin, I think is maybe interfering. Our daughter and antiquarian, of course. So it's a 50-50 chance. We could tell her to stick to her duties because her opinion of us is fairly high as it is. Muirin, shut up. A commoner of Gaelic heritage has been accosted in the streets of Dunpodrig, and by making a statement in their defence, I could perhaps convince my half-brother Amlib. So, of course, we're trying to sway him. We're trying to sway him out of this dangerous faction. Because at the moment he's the closest to a positive opinion. I think he's also probably the weakest militarily. Yeah. The Gaels, they're good people. Here's that victory that we just had. It's entirely possible that the only Irish soldiers that we have... There's actually a couple of Irish knights here. There is Dovcain, who we hired not that long ago. Here is Friel Mock Peter. So there is Peter, who keeps flirting with us from time to time. So the two of them went on the crusade together, but I think they were both parked in Cyprus. And here is Goitne, one of the bold insurgents, if I am correct. There he is, the devil. They're actually becoming a bit stronger, maybe since we lost some forces in that battle. 4,300 troops parked in Ireland doing nothing. We have gained another martial lifestyle experience perk. We will take Knight Effectiveness plus 75%. It looks like more forces are coming back. I was going to move down to the south here. We're lucky that we got out of there. And let's see how our new knights do. Or not our new knights, but now that they are newly improved. There's a Fickle Philip. So we could go to the armory. Absolutely, we're going to go to the armory. Because we have a lot of hammers that could potentially be cut up. And the things that she wants to cut up, I don't know if I like the idea of any of that. Plus 0.18 prestige per month. Or the flexible Welsh mail. No, I don't want to cut up either of those. There was so many other things that you could have gone for. You're just having a look. Herbert II has died of his wounds. So this is the King of France, and we were talking about this in the last episode. His wife, our niece, gave him his 5th daughter. That's not what he wanted. That is not what he wanted. France has now been inherited. I'm not entirely too sure who it's been inherited by. Here is his brother, Prince Herbert, and here is indeed his nephew, the new King of France. Now, I'm wondering if we can invite her back to our court. No, because I presume she wants to stay with her child. She likes our lodgings, but I don't think she has great opinion. I'm not too sure why she won't come back, actually. But there you go. We failed to give King Herbert II a child, so I think that's entirely possible that that alliance with France is gone now. We're not in a position to keep that alliance going. So that's 5,000 troops gone. I was hoping that would be more useful for Aquitaine. We're given an option as to what we would do with this sword. What would this... It's not even a sword, it's a spear. It's a sword on the end of a stick. Sword on a stick. I think we're going to have it encourage our knights to greatness. So it'll give us a knight-related modifier. So there is one war on the continent brought to an end. So be it. I think we contributed 1% war score. I suppose, yeah, we didn't do very many sieges. So be it. We're not really in a position... I won't say we're not in a position to help. I'm gonna bring these guys back into friendly territory. Aragon is moving in. Probably against these guys, so we might wander in this direction. Hopefully we'll gain some troops. It's kind of a convoluted affair at the moment. Faril, Goithne, doing very well. Dovcain. Actually, tons of the... Well, when I say tons, two knights on our side killed. So these are two battles that occurred after they got the big knightly boost. Duke Ezo of Upper Burgundy, he is indeed a member of the family. God only knows who we married out. God, Upper Burgundy, that wasn't all that long ago that we had an alliance with them. We might still have, I don't know. We're going to allow Aragon's forces to go ahead of us, and we're going to see then what is happening. This threatened rebellion is absolutely breaking us. We have inherited the Duchy of Kirken. Well now. And we have another independence faction. And an independence faction has been broken, and we have inherited the Dál Fiatach romance from Prince Amlib. I told you I don't want to read this. The amount of time and effort and money we have wasted because of this idiot. But he is our brother. We've lost one brother, and we've lost a son. And he is a crusader. We will grant you... can I grant him these titles? And the petty kingdom itself. Again. Don't mess up this time. He's gone up to 100% admiration for us. And also, if these guys actually start an independence faction, they'll be fighting against him. Our only problem is we could put somebody better in place to... because he's a claimant to the Kingdom of Ireland, we can't form an alliance with him. We could also make him our court poet. But we'll give him these titles. The faction has disbanded. I have stood down the army. So all the armies have been stood down, except, of course, for the one that's fighting currently in the south of France. We are going to write down our thoughts, because we have very high stress levels, which are giving us a severe health penalty. Bring my journal. I grab a pen and open my journal. With each sentence that graces the paper, I feel my shoulders relaxing. The clarity this process brings is unrivaled. Lose 28 stress. Look at all these artifacts that we have. We have an orchid that gives us some prestige and fertility, and we have frog spawn that gives us only fertility. Not massively useful to us at the moment, and instead we will equip the Dál Fiatach romance. So this was made by Earl Dunaduk, I think in Oriel, and his son gifted it to Amlib, and now it has come to us. It gives us prestige, and personal scheme success chance goes up 12%. So that might be useful to us. We have a lot of things here that we need to fix. Do you know what? We can hold off on it for a while. We should probably do it while we have the money, but we'll hold off for a while. I was just about to start talking about our options down this end of the world. However, our beneficiary has come to us to tell us that they have completed the Irish Spear Prowess +4, Knight Efficiency +6. Yes! This is literally killing a sword +4 stuck onto the end of a hammer. The hammers, I think, were giving us +1 and about 3% efficiency. This is absolutely fantastic. This is a brilliant piece of work. So, although we have no need for it, we will equip it immediately. So 1 prowess and 2%, 1 prowess and 3%, 4 prowess. So here we are. Look at this. Absolutely fantastic. The Irish Spear. And we might try and put that to use soon. Totally distracted by everything. I didn't notice that we hadn't actually... that our army wasn't following in. I thought it was. And I was trying to select it, and I was wondering, why can't I select them to go into this battle? There's not a hope in hell that we're going to arrive in time. I wonder, can we start sieging someplace? Not there, anyway. Not any of these places, because they're actually ours. So let's see if we can siege down, bring one of these sieges to an end, maybe. Well done, Ireland. Well done. I don't know where exactly the High King's mind would be at this point in time as we approach the year 1190. He's 54 years of age, his health is improving, because he's not as stressed anymore. The melancholy, however, isn't helping. We're going to get a pop-up a year in advance of his death. He has hit 22 prowess, which is not in any way a shabby figure. His daughter, Scahach, comes of age. She was being trained as a spy master, or a spy-like figure. And if I am correct, I'll always press the wrong one. I think we're going to keep her in court. And very shortly make her our new spy master. There aren't any great marriage opportunities for Scahach at the moment. However, here is her sister Muireann, who is our antiquarian. I think we're going to keep her as our antiquarian. So we'll organise a matrilineal marriage to Gilchrist Loden. 20. That's not what I meant to do. And with our stress still running high, we are going to send out invitations for a grand feast as our troops continue to siege down, or to siege back down, a part of... Is it Turin? Is that where we are? So we're sieging this area. We're trying to lift the siege, and I can see that the forces have turned around and are coming back against us, so we might actually have to make a run for it. Welcome, friends. Gilchrist has accepted a marriage to our daughter, and our son, Patrick, has become a renowned physician. So he is a character of learning almost as great as his fathers. When he becomes a king and gets options to improve his learning, I think he will be the most learned of the Dál Fiatach rulers ever. Laura, we imprisoned him to get some money out of him. Thanks for that money, Laura. It helped us in the... Laura loses 30 opinion of us for 5 years. We lose some stress, because we're irritable. Or he gains opinion. Do you know what? You making a fool of yourself could never bore me. After extensive conversation over our delectable dishes, a mayor in Wales expresses that he finds me most learned. Oh, stop it. You should meet my son. He recognizes true intellect, I see. We have withdrawn from Turin not to be fighting these guys. And in the middle of the celebrations, I am more intrigued by the defensibility of this hole. Should an attack be launched from the outside right this moment, the lower nobility would be the ones in immediate danger. Beyond that, a small bastion could be made from the great tables, offering a modicum of protection. Now, how would we have to stage a counterattack? Is this because we're suspicious of furniture? You gain better safe than sorry for 5 years. It would be foolish to think that every guest here would be your comrade in arms. You understand the martial lifestyle better than that. So, defender advantage and hostile scheme resistance. Excellent. And with our Fortifications solidified. That's the first time. Is that a smile? My god, he's unrecognizable. With all my guests having my... leaving my castle with the entire contents of my vast pantry in their bellies, I am proud to say that the feast was a success. I think this is the first military success we've had in a while. I have my wife to thank. We have 150 prestige, 30 opinion with all the guests, and the feast ends. Well, damn it all anyway. The reason that I held that feast was to lose enough stress that I would be in a position to start a fight against the King of England to take back the Anglo-Saxon court politics, and we could take some stress-giving decisions without having a mental breakdown in the middle of a fight. But what I find is that I no longer have a claim. It looks like my claim was indeed invalidated when we lost that mortal combat for the book. That idiot has a claim with his 666 troops. But we don't. Tufla, you fight him. You fight the King of England. Also, this finally happened. This has been threatened for a while. Ranald, who was the former King of Scotland, he was deposed by his brother. He remained in control of Gary when we took it from him. He has inherited Strathclyde. I knew this was coming out a while. Don't you worry, we have plans for Scotland. If we can bring this goddamn war in France to an end. I really wanted that book. I really wanted that goddamn book. I'm angry. I'm looking around for people to shout and scream at, and if I remember correctly, you didn't give me no money when you became the Duke. We're gonna release our anger, gain some stress, and inflict some stress on him. So I forget what his actual relationship to us is. I think he's either our nephew or... yeah, he's our nephew and vassal. We've both got spears. We have the Irish spear, and he has a spear named after himself. Yeah, that's very egotistical. Giving your spear a name, naming it after yourself, though, that's kind of weird, you know. Look at him there, holding his spear in his hand with the same name as himself. It's being streamed on Twitch again in a bid to humiliate me. He simply backs away whenever I get close, insulting me in detailed depth, well aware that I can't ignore him. So, no chance of success. There's a medium chance of injury from walking backwards and insulting us. So we could go for a low and a medium. Medium and a high likelihood of success. I think we'll go with that. So we're equal in terms of injury, but we have a high chance of succeeding. This is pretty much happening straight away after a feast as well. I leap into action, launching a flurry of thrusting jabs. Spear on spear combat. Two angry men flaking their spears at each other. Isn't this what you have come here to see? My form is good with only small errors. His stance is a disaster. I went all through the courts looking for who was the lowest prowess person to fight, who was angry at me. My opponent is reeling from me. Victory so close that I can practically taste it. We will continue. He's going for a medium and a low. He's getting some very bad options. Better men than you have died trying to take my book. We'll go for just keep striking, keep parrying, and keep reposting on Twitter. Oh my god, look at this. No need to even get out of bed. My spear arm moves. My spear arms, surely. Move fast as lightning and strike as hard as sundered stone. Blow by blow, I beat my opponent into bloody, concussed submission. Are you actually flaking him with the spear? That's not how it works. Hammering him. Oh, he's using the spear like the Welsh hammer. Into the ground with all the fury St. George can lend me. we kick the weapon away, and we win. Nice. And with that Baton, we are no longer overwhelmed by stress. I've moved the army in just to have them doing something. He gained 66 stress. Boys, oh boys, that's some amount of stress to be given him. The other thing I wanted to do was keep the dread up. Because we have our army standing, there's not a lot we can do. I'm on the verge of just standing down these troops. I don't think there's a lot that we can do with them, or that we need to do with them. We're not even going to go in against that army. I'd be hoping after 1 or 2 more battles that this would all come to an end. We're being told that Prince Amlib has been swayed. There's no need to sway him. He's fine. Go away, you. So that's back when he was a threat to us. And with any luck, the war continues. We're at least beginning to siege down this region again. And they will fall back past us, so that means that they have to pass us by. If they want to fight the main Aragonese forces, here they come. I think we'll stand and give battle. These two are being bold. Again, I think I was considering marrying a senior member of the family to Sandra at one stage. Because I can't remember if one of her brothers was maybe the King of Scotland. I think it would gain us an alliance with Scotland. At this stage, he's not actually in our court. I was going to say the two of you should pretty much just get married at this stage. But he's not actually at the court. He's just being out, being a devil. I expected this army was going to try and basically hit us. Doesn't look like it. We might be able to end one of the sieges. And again, like I said, bring this to an end. Aragon is sending its forces in. It's not going to make much of a difference, really, which of the two happens first. I would like to try and get the siege done. We'll stand you guys down. We won't, because that'll be 6 months. I mightn't even have that length of time. So be it. Now we can stand you down, and we can raise you immediately. Our kingdom is relatively stable. There are no major, I should check that, independence factions against us. You're probably going to come out of that soon enough. What type of an army do you have? 200? This is the only guy that we need to watch. Do you know what? We'll sway him. We'll sway you. I should have fought you. I should have fought you instead. The kingdom is somewhat stable, but it is not complete. We will go back to the task that the Crusade interrupted. And the two of these do pretty much the same thing. A 90 and a 90. We will seize the duchy. We're going to raise all our forces in Furlix. And look at this. Entering on the side of Ireland. It is the Jarl of Iceland. For a long time we feared an English-Icelandic alliance, and now Iceland is going to be used against them, as will Aragon. Just having come out of a war for her husband's territory in the south of France. Where are the Mangonels? Here they are. And now with the loss of Otto von Klaw, who I was going to give character. I don't think, yeah, we have absolutely no siege engineers whatsoever. I don't know who's commanding it, but we will send them in to actually seize the area itself. And you guys, we'll probably put you there as a forward guard. But we would want to wait until our allies show up. I've said this before, with wars in England, and it's made me look very foolish. Hopefully we can bring this to an end quickly. We're seeing English forces coming in, and they're actually about to get hit, or they're about to hit an army of Derby. I think we're going to try, we'll have to pull back out of this region. They have 8,000 forces coming in. Here we have Aragon. Here we have Aragon. Where's Aragon's army coming from, I wonder? It's coming from Spain. We're going to have to pull back into our own territory and basically hope that Iceland shows up quickly enough. I won't say quickly enough. Thankfully, that's the English forces held up for a short space of time. We've lost a hook on somebody that we released at some random point in time. We might actually have to get off the island. We're seeing only 2,000 forces coming in from... We're seeing another couple of thousand forces. And we might have to wait until that disembark penalty is gone. And we will march in against the English forces. It'll be a hefty enough battle. We're seeing that penalty is indeed gone. We will merge our armies together. We will put them under the command. He's an aggressive attacker. What do we hear? Flexible leader, enemy defensive advantage minus 50. Lieb, don't let us down. Off the coast, we are seeing another 4,000 Aragonese forces arriving. Our spouse grows fonder. Some of your more influential vassals have children that I am certain Muraduk would benefit from knowing. Muraduk is 35. Our wife, who is 5 years younger than him, his stepmother, is trying to set him up. Look at how happy he is on a playdate with either a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old. I'd say he'll do fine on his own. I'd say he's grand. 10,000 Irish troops are marching in somewhere. Are we going to hit something? We've hit something and hit them early. Fariel has killed somebody. Fair play to him. Mighty job. Nat Friok has wounded a member of the leading dynasty, the ruling dynasty in the area. Again, our pikemen heavily being countered. But these are the types of victories that we expected in the past. I think everything is going to be a-okay. I'm going to split the army. And I am going to send... we'll send you guys forward to that position. And this should have the mangonels. Trying to find the mangonels now is going to be the thing. There they are. And we will send them up to begin the siege. And hopefully we should be able to bring this to an end. Look at this, for overconfidence. We won't even pause. We will take a look. We'll pause. I'm terrified. Wolfgang with 74. Nat Friok with 73. Gilchrist on his first day in battle after marrying him to our daughter. And Antiquarian. There is Angus Uladh. I think we hired him just before the Crusade. Would have spent his time in Cyprus. Muraduk. Our cousin. That ape. Look. Good job. Peter and his son, Fariel. Oh, there'll be some ribbon you'll be given out to. You'll be laughed at that you were 1 kill short of your father. Our son, Patrick, look, he's grand. He's now a renowned physician. He knows well what to do. And Fariel and Muraduk, killing 2 of the enemy knights. We have overwhelming numbers, both in terms of knights. We did lose the Earl of... Lancashire, so that would be a vassal, I imagine, of the Queen of Aragon. But hopefully, with any luck, this should be a by-the-books, paint-by-the-numbers victory. Not exactly what I wanted. So, okay, I don't know where Iceland is going. I'm sending more forces down here because I imagine England is going to hit the English capital and it's going to turn around and come back in this direction. I was hoping that we could keep our forces sieging down up here. We're being told we have something going on in the court. Squires to knights. We've had something like this before. Tuathla. Tuathla, please. Tuathla, there's a war. Tuathla, please, no. How much money does she want? She wants 135 gold. All ladies in the court will gain 10 opinion. We're celibate, so we don't really care about that anymore. Thufla, do you want to go back to prison again? Don't rise my gorge, Thufla. Don't rise my gorge. Oh no, Phelimid's devastated. So there we go, 6,000. King Casimir II might join. So somebody is coming up to try and hit our 1,600, I was going to say 16k army. My spymaster, Duke Louis, left his position and your court as a result of his marriage to a landed spouse. Oh, yeah. Wait, I didn't think she was in line for anything. There's her brother. I didn't think she was actually in line to inherit, Austria. I also got confused. This is my nephew, Louis. That's fine. I don't care about that. This is the man. This is the man that's of value to us. We're going to put you on... He's getting old. We're going to put you on the throne of Aquitaine. And your brother, the Duke of Austria... do you know what? There can be a little unification. All the A's in Europe. So our spymaster has left the court because of that. And do you know what? We had a candidate ready for this position, if I am correct. We'll put in the daughter. So it looks as though the English are actually going to go in and begin sieging down, or trying to siege down an area. We might start moving our forces southwards. We're going to leave these guys there. Hopefully they can finish that siege quickly enough, and that'll be more war score for us. Roan Koo is a well of insight, and he offers to become our mentor. I think we've had a mixed relationship with Roan Koo. All along. He executed a random courtier. We do want to learn, however. We do want to learn and improve our martial skills. King Casimir has indeed joined. Casimir of Poland. I think it's going to be maybe a bit too late. We're going to get our forces together, if I am correct. I'm trying to see where they actually all are. I think that's them all there. We will leave them under the command. Look, he's done a good job so far. He's done a good job so far. And we will start the process of bringing them south. There's a 3k army there, so we'll bring them to here and hope that Iceland and Aragon starts to follow. I think they know they're in a bit of trouble. And if we're in any... Do you know what? We'll go in there against the small army. Oh, that's even better. That's even better. I thought it was better. It was looking dodgy there for a while because I thought we had 9k in the battle, yet the red line wasn't moving. We have taken the King of England captive. It would be great and glorious to execute him. How desperately we want to do such a thing. We're clearly psychotic. But not even Cruhur is that bad. If Cruhur does nothing else with his life, he has finally achieved his father's goal of uniting the Kingdom of Wales. A good, solid showing by all of our knights. Wolfgang with 102 kills, just ahead of Nat Friok with 101. Amlieb in with 65, not too shabby. Peter is still well ahead of his son. Friel, you have a lot to learn. There is our son, Patrick, who has indeed, like I said, he's put that renowned physician skill to the test, and he has cured himself again of his wounds. There's Roan Koo, our marshal, master of the horse, and he is now our mentor in the ways of war. So no major kills or anything like that, but again, this was the type of war against England that our father could only have dreamt of. I think we managed to fairly well handle their Huscarls, and also by actually getting a heavy number of Huscarls on our own side. The Vigmen of, I presume, Iceland, Vig or Wig, were heavily countered. There wasn't all that many of them, there was 20. Oh wait, no, there was 200. But we managed to take care of that big problem, I think, which dealt a lot of damage to us before in the past. And again, they weren't able to bring in the levels and numbers that they would have seen with the Swedish alliances back in the day. For a King of England to be captured by the King of Ireland, what a great and glorious victory that was. This is becoming a bit of a habit now, isn't it? Ending episodes by asking the Pope for a ton of money, and fair play to him, he will give us that money. 390 gold, that is going to be tremendously helpful to us. Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next one, when we reinstall Louis on the throne of Aquitaine.